Hello and welcome to the Irn-Cru podcast, an American football podcast made in Scotland by NFL lovers. We are on to week 11. My name is Danny McVeigh. I'm in the host chair again. How time flies. Get an excellent show for you here. What a crew we've got lined up. First of all, making a return after a few weeks out, Craigie Smudger, how are you, mate?
I'm doing good, mate. Good. Nice to come back on and nice to have a chat with you boys. I can't believe that we're at the kind of halfway turning point of the regular season. You look forward to it all year and it's flying in. It's crazy. Loads been happening, so looking forward to get into it.
Good. And Andy, you're back on 2 weeks in a row. This is good. How's your week been, mate?
Yeah, good. No, enjoyed last week's games as well. I thought the Berlin game especially was a really good start to the week. So hopefully we'll get another good early one with the Madrid game. So, yeah, looking forward to chatting to you all today.
Yep. And making his long-awaited return to the crew, it is our resident Giants fan. He has got a smile on his face this week, which hints to what we're probably got to spend quite a bit of time on this week. It is the one and only Jamie Murdo McLeod. Welcome back, Murdo.
How's it going? Great to be back. Time flies. It's been a long time. So excited to get back and talk about the Giants. Well, I don't know if I'm excited to talk about the Giants, to be honest. But yeah, no, great to be back.
No, it's been a hell of a week. The NFL just never fails, does it? It always throws up the drama. It's like one of these soap operas that just could show up in Netflix at any particular time, and that's why we love it. But let's not bother hanging about. Let's just get straight in there. Murdo, Brian Daboll was fired this week. He finishes in a 20-40-1 record in the regular season. Is this the third or fourth straight season that he's went 2-8? Obviously, what was that?
I think.
I thought he chucked away another double-digit lead, another fourth quarter humping, and a 24-20 loss to the Bears. And apparently, it's a Giants record. It's his 11th straight road defeat. This was happening when this has got to be no surprise. Murdo, I'm just going to let you take away, man. Just
No,
right. What I want you to do though, right before you get started, this is a safe space, right? We are here for you. Just cry if you need to cry, rant if you need to rant. You just go for it.
I'm happy.
No,
no surprise at all. It's probably been a long time coming. I'm probably a bit more surprised that they didn't clear house. It kind of feels like he's been made more of a scapegoat with the whole situation because, you know, it's not him that builds the team, it's Joe Shane that's built that team. But yeah, I guess the owner's view is like, I think at the moment it's to protect Jackson Dart because he's on his fourth concussion evaluation in 7 games. If you prorate that in a season, that's 10 in a season, which is absolutely bonkers.
That's 2 levels, isn't it?
Exactly. And, you know, we know where that's gone. So, yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I don't think I think it's a bit unfair that he's the only one to be sacked. You know, the play calling's been poor both sides of the ball. The back office as well. Like, they've built that team. And, you know, for the diamonds they have uncovered, there's a lot of busts. You know, and Joe Shane getting away without a mark on him's pretty impressive on his part in my eyes. But I guess mid-season you're not wanting to have the full upheaval of everything. So yeah, it's interesting. It's like, as you watch this space to see what else happens. You know, I think maybe this is going to be a placeholder for the rest of the year. See it out, get to the end of this year, and maybe clear house, start again, and go from there.
Murdo, where do you think it's went wrong then? Like, is it a roster issue? Is it a coaching issue? Because a lot of people look at the pieces that's in place and what they have it in place with Daniel Jones, what he's now doing, Saquon, what he's done. When you look at guys that they've currently got, whether it's Scabo, Jackson Dart, Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Sexy Dexy, you know, there's a lot of really good bits in there, and that's going to look like actually a promising kind of foundation to a roster. So is Joe Shane actually been that bad, or is it Brian Daboll inability to coach up what he's had?
I think I would say that if on the offense, the offensive line that's let that team down, you've got Andrew Thomas and then nobody else. I know Dable's been unlucky with injuries, losing Neighbours at the start of the season, and then now Scatteraboo. If you had those two there, we wouldn't be in this position. You know, I was mentioning about the protection for Jackson Dart. Like, obviously, with what we have on offense just now, the amount of drops, lack of quality, it's bonkers that they didn't go and get another receiver before the trade deadline, or go and grab someone on the offensive line. But instead of that, they're making Dart out of the pocket and run, and because he's so eager, that's why he's getting leathered.
That's rookie. Just that's like the sort of confidence you get with your puppy sort of thing, and it's just they kind of just want to get out there and just running through walls, and it's never a good idea. But again, it's when an older head of coach should be coaching that out of them or putting them in positions where actually no, just dump it off, get the screen, don't play hero ball. Surely the coach has got to put them in a better position to not hurt themselves.
Yeah, 100%. But I guess Dable's just looking at like he's in the industry of winning games, and that's all that matters for him. So if Jackson Dart gets murdered along the way, then his record still looks good.
No, that's true.
Yeah, no, it's just I would say it's been a long time coming. Like I say, like there's not been any improvements until 4 double-digit comebacks against us in one season as well. It's just bonkers and it's soul destroying.
So, Smudger, you want to give your initial reactions, and by any means, do you have any questions you want to throw at Murdo and make his life more of a misery, or no?
No, I think like when Dable was first appointed, he had a really successful first season. He wins Coach of the Year honours. He takes the Giants to the playoffs, has a winning record, and everything's starting to look promising there. But as time's gone on, as seasons have gone on, there's been that stagnation there. He's come from Buffalo, where he's worked with Josh Allen and helped on the offensive side there. So you were expecting him to bring a lot of that to the Giants in the way that they were playing football, and really like the defensive side of the ball was his specialty. And I think you touched on it earlier on the offense. They've got so many fantastic pieces there, but they have been incredibly unlucky with injuries. I mean, losing Malik Neighbours so early on in the season, like that's a massive blow. And then from then on, you had this little bit of hope where Jackson Dart's come in, Scatbo's come to prominence, and it shows you how quickly things change in the NFL, where just a few weeks ago, they're beating the Philadelphia Eagles. They're on a little bit of a high, and you think, there's maybe something here. Dable's maybe getting a wee bit of a stay of execution, because I think even at that point, there were whispers of, he's in a wee bit of a hot seat here, but you thought that maybe that combination was maybe going to see him maybe through to the end of the season, but it's just not worked out that way. And I do feel for him a little bit, because losing a lot of these key players has got to be massively disruptive. But you look at over the past few seasons as well, they've stagnated with like the average points scored. He's not really brought anything from that side. They've not taken that kick on from the initial first season, where when everything's going well, you think he's quite a fiery personality, Dable. And I think when your team's winning and he's fired up, the whole team's willing to get on board with that. I think though, when it's the other side where the team is losing and they're in a difficult spot, if you've got that kind of fiery head coach, it's maybe a motivation thing as well. Maybe that kind of personality, it's more somebody that's going to motivate you and lift you, rather than just maybe being that kind of fired up, trying to get something out of you in the wrong way. And I don't know, maybe that's just my take on it, but I just wonder if there's maybe been a bit of a mismatch there. And this is a really key appointment for the Giants. You could argue that they've now gone 10 years since they had a head coach with an overall winning record. You're going back a long way. So from that point of view, since Tom Coughlin, when they won the Super Bowl, really, they've not had a head coach in New York that's been regarded as successful over the entire course of their tenure. So it's a big decision they've got to make on who they pick up next.
Andy, I'm just going to throw it to you. Chime in here.
Yeah, not surprised. And I think I watched snippets of the game against the Bears, and I think there was a moment, 4th and goal from the 1 yard line. They get a penalty against the Bears defense. So it was from the half-yard line, and they kicked the field goal. And I think, like you were saying, Craig, about he's quite a rah-rah guy, quite animated on the sideline, but yet he can't go for it on 4th and goal from the half-yard line to potentially go 14 points up and put that game to bed. And I think, as well, with the Jackson Dart situation, the play calls were a lot of design QB runs, and maybe he's thinking more about himself rather than his QB and sort of his future with the Giants, and desperate to win games, which Murdo sort of talked about in terms of his job security. So maybe ownership have sort of looked at Jackson Dart as the future and have said that, they're going to go their separate ways. I thought Joe Shane would probably go with him. I doubt it will happen now. I thought that would probably happen at the same time. But, that might still come as well. Because, like I said, I like the roster.
When healthy.
I'm not even sure. Did Neighbours even get a chance to play with Dart? Or was Neighbours gone before Dart?
Wilson.
Yeah. So we've not even had a chance to see that, which is a shame. Because, like you say, Neighbours is so dynamic when healthy.
So, where do you go for here then, Murdo? We know that Mike Kafka's coming in. He is going to take over head coach. He was obviously the offensive coordinator, and I guess he's staying in the play calling duties there. Is this just make do, get the season over and done with, and then take it from there, or is this got to be an extended interview? Do you see a new coach bounce, as we often do see in the NFL?
It's a tough one with Kafka, because I don't see a lot of positives in his play calling, if I'm honest. But the past couple of off seasons, he's always had head coach interviews with other teams, so there must be something there. So it will be interesting to see how he does. Obviously, I'm hoping for a bounce. It'd be good to get a couple more wins and see some more positivity around the place. But I don't know if he's the guy for the job. Personally, I think I would rather go for someone that's got head coaching experience, whether that's someone that's been in a job before and it's not worked out and had a chance to go and reflect, went and got a coordinator's job someplace, reflect on what they did well, what they did badly in the head coaching position, to then, implement that again. You see, like Dan Quinn in Washington, like how he resurrected his career. So just staying in Washington, like Cliff Kingsbury, he wasn't very successful in Arizona. He's gone. He's got the Commanders' offense looking half decent. So yeah, like someone like that, or John Gruden's been talked about. It'd be an interesting appointment. He would definitely demand respect. I don't know if I'm ready to knock on wood and be with him, but.
And what about a certain 70-something-year-old who likes the younger ladies, who's currently written up at UNC? Then, what would you say a return to Bill Belichick?
I guess I don't think you can say no to Bill Belichick, can you?
Well, he's 26-year-old girlfriend, can he?
You blame her. No, it would definitely be interesting. Would he want it? I don't know.
I think there's only a few NFL franchises he would probably go back to, and the Giants being one of them. After the success, winning 2 Super Bowls with them back in the 80s, was it, or 90s? I can't remember whenever he won the other 2. And he's obviously, it's got such a place in his heart. And I think that'd be one that he probably would consider going back to, and particularly when there is such a young roster to actually build around. It seems like you've got the quarterback that you want to try and build around, see what Dart can actually do. That's going to be a massive selling point for any potential head coach, because you look at maybe the Saints job or anything else that could potentially be coming up. or the Titans or any of these other ones, you're like, oh, well, do we actually have a roster? Is it a full rip it all down and have to rebuild? And that's a 5-year project. Whereas I'm guessing whoever's looking at the Giants should be looking at it along the lines of what the Patriots have done this year, where they've got the pieces, they've got a few good pieces there, getting the right head coach, a couple of additions in free agency, and bang, hopefully you're now a playoff contender. That's really got to be what people are looking like, and it should be a well sought after job. But I guess what you say is, do you go for the upcoming, the sort of Clint Kubiak type, young offensive coordinator, or are you looking for the older head who's maybe looking to come back in, like say your Grudens of the world or whoever it might be? So, what is your, if you had to put your £2.50 on it each way, who's your top choice?
It is a real tough. I don't know. Like I said, when I first seen the Gruden things, I was like, that's ridiculous. And then I seen a couple of clips on Instagram of former players of his talking about how he has everyone accountable in the building, has everyone together, working as a team, and I think that's exactly what the Giants need. Is obviously his last position in Las Vegas didn't work out too well, but he likes Dart. He's got a relationship with Jackson Dart already, so
that's who you're going for. That's who I'm putting your money on. I'm calling it for you.
Knock on wood, I'm with them.
Right, Andy, if you're a betting man, who would you be thinking? Who's your top candidate?
I would probably say Matt Nagy. I think he, like you'd said, Myrtle, somebody that's been a head coach. He was obviously with the Bears, wasn't he? Maybe he's with the Chiefs, I think. The OC at Chiefs, is he? So he might be he's with Kansas, isn't he? Not working with Mahomes, I think, Matt Nagy. So he might be someone that's went away, reflected. He's got a bit more experience working with sort of a top quality franchise and might be looking now for that move. I think actually Mike McCarthy might be the favourite at the moment for it. I'm not sure I would. I mean, he has brought success, I suppose. He did have winning seasons with Cowboys. Okay, postseason wasn't great, and obviously what he did in Green Bay, so that's another name to be encircled.
Just kind of looking at the list of some of
it's tough to judge Mike McCarthy's situation in Dallas, though, because if you look at the talent that Dallas always have on the roster, but they can never turn it into anything overly meaningful. And also, because of the Dallas, it's put me off Mike McCarthy, to be honest. But he's experienced. He knows. I reckon he would command respect in the locker room. So I wouldn't be against that either.
They're basically in the spot that the Bears were last year. That's what it feels like when Caleb Williams was there, ready. The roster had pieces, and they went and made a few splash moves in free agency. Obviously, draft is still sort of TBD in terms of the players they drafted, and now you see them sort of making that push, as you say, towards maybe the playoffs. So they feel like they're almost like a year behind potentially where the Bears were if they can get the head coach position right.
100%. Well, definitely. You mentioned as well, the young players, even from a financial point of view, loads of players on rookie deals. They've got cap space there. This isn't a rip up and start again job, so it's massively appealing. I think that the interest they're going to have there's so many offensive and defensive coordinators across the league, head coaches, college teams. There's so many potential candidates out there. They will have a huge amount of interest. Loads of names all getting thrown around there. You've highlighted a few already. It will be great to see who they do pick up. But like I said, they need to get it right. They cannot afford another missed opportunity, especially with this roster and the talent that it's got.
Well, that's it. Just you saying there about the defensive side of the ball as well. We were talking about Dart and how he's a draw. There's going to be a lot of defensive-minded coaches that are going to look at that front line and be like, I can't wait to get my hands on that. So there's not going to be a lack of suitors for the job. It's just making sure that we get it right. It's critical now, because we probably are about 3-4 players away from going deep into the playoffs. Secondary needs sorted out. some pieces on the offensive line and potentially another wide receiver, and getting everyone back healthy. So it's definitely going to be one of the more sought after jobs this year, when you consider it, like how little needs done to get to a winning place.
We'll see, definitely. I'm just kind of looking there. According to my sort of stats, I've got the Giants ranked 30th in sort of total defense, which when we're talking about how good that line is and the pieces they've got, yeah, and I've got them ranked 32nd against the rush. They're getting up 152 yards a game. It's quite staggering actually when you look at the line that they've got and the pieces that they do have there. So I don't know, maybe Shane Bowen might be in his way out. I don't think he's got to survive much longer either. Well, as I said, we'll find out. I'm taking it into the off season before we actually find out who is going to be taking over there. I guess we'll just need to wait and see what changes Mike Kafka can make. But one of them that he is going to need to make, and it's probably forced on him, like we talked on, is that Rusty Wilson is out the picture. The man himself, Jameis Winston, is back in the league. It's looking very likely he's going to be a starter. How excited are you to see like 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions all in one quarter, Murdo?
I hope he gets picked up for the game on Sunday. But yeah, no, do you know what? Like, before we even drafted Jackson, that I preferred the thought of Jameis Winston over Russell Wilson. And Joe Shane's been giving Russell Wilson a $10.5 million 1 year deal. It'd be good to see Winston with neighbours, because it could be frightening the amount of yards and touchdowns that neighbours would put up with there. But no, it's exciting to see. A real gunslinger throws caution to the wind, if you want to put it that way.
He's always entertaining, isn't he, Andy?
Yeah, and he like you say, he's not really bothered by the interceptions. He's just going to throw it up there. And I think every locker room that he's been in, he seems to have a positive impact in terms of gelling the team, even if the team's maybe not going places. He's certainly someone that I think guys can rally around. So I'm looking forward to seeing Winston over Russell Wilson.
I'm kind of looking a peek ahead. It's not a game we're going to be diving deep into, so why don't we just do that? Why don't we have a wee quick swatch of who is it they're playing this week, Murdo, while I just click my buttons here and make a nurse it?
Green Bay.
There you go, Green. Oh no, is that not a perfect game to sort of bounce back on? Green Bay are all over the place. They obviously lost last week in a pretty pathetic game. Do you see them winning? Do you think they're going to? That's it. The comeback is on. The run the ladder, the climb, the start of all of the ages.
The comeback's not on. We're not going to make a playoff push. I wouldn't be surprised if we won. Jameis Winston putting up 450 yards and five touchdowns on the back of that. I don't know how many interceptions, but I would not be surprised to go and see us have a dominant win. But also, I wouldn't be surprised to see us lose a really scrappy game, 10-7. It is just too hard to tell, to be honest with you. But we just roll the dice and see what happens.
We will indeed. I say that is a game, I guess, that you just don't know. On paper, you're like, yeah, Green Bay should win. I was just trying to figure out if they were I'm guessing they will be the favourites for that game. If I have pressed the wrong buttons, probably. Yes, 7.5 points favourites. So the bookies don't fancy your chances, to be honest. And I guess we're kind of looking at saying that, the fact that Jameis Winston's going to win Jackson Darshire, I'm almost saying that that's an upgrade when it's not. Actually, it's probably 7.5 is probably about right. And I guess Green Bay will want to make amends for their poor showing lately and show that they actually can still be a contender and make a bit of a splash in the postseason. So, we'll see what happens there. Oh, God, I even forgot you've got Brian Burns as well in your team with 11 sacks so far this year. It's baffling. There's great pieces there.
It's just kind of going back to the Joe Shane building the team. Like, that's a masterstroke. I was like, a second or 2 seconds for Brian Burns when you look at what some of the prices for other defensive players have been recently.
Yeah.
But he can't seem to draft a defensive player for his life. Well, Kayvon Thibodeau's been all right, but other than that, the secondary's been horrendous.
Well, we'll see how that turns out. Well, let's rock on through some of the other news we've got this week. So, mentioned Commanders there, Murdo, a couple of talking points here. Their season's pretty much in the toilet, not much doing there. But Dan Quinn's obviously deciding to take some matter in his own hands. He's taking over defensive play calling duties from Joe Witt Jr. And it's not going to help them much when the defensive tackle Darren Payne is suspended for a game for boxing out with Amon-Ra St. Brown. He caught him a nice right hook. Which I added in here just because I thought it was funny, just to be so blatant. It's something daft, you're not going to get away with that, but I thought it was hilarious.
I don't know why they bothered punching each other when they've got helmets on. Like, there's more chance of injuring yourself. Like, if I was a head coach and my player punched someone in the head, I'd like, fair enough, cracking someone, but wait until you're in the tunnel. Get their helmet off and do them damage instead of yourself and injuring yourself.
Ice hockey style, just let them have at it. Like you say, just take the helmets off, get the helmet off, and go at it. But in fairness, though, when you look at the replays of it, like Amon-Ra had a couple of jabs a wee bit earlier on in the game, so this wasn't out of nowhere. This wasn't just I'm just going to lamb you here. That was in retaliation. So Amon-Ra's no squeaky clean in this either. But he was. It was quite funny. Did you see him? Obviously, that game in Washington, Trump was in the crowd. But did you see him in Rasby Trump celebration pointing up to the crowd when he scored the touchdown?
Did see that.
It was pretty funny. He was obviously just on the wind up that game.
I wouldn't bring politics in it, but by God, fucking get off my telly. Like, he added absolutely nothing to that experience other than it was just excruciating to watch. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but it was just how long they stayed in the studio, cut away for the game. And then they're like, call the game. And he went, and here's a guy, and this has got to be a big play. And they did a play. And it's like, magic. But anyway, that was
just rapping on about how he's doing a great job. They're all doing a great job. Everyone's doing a great job.
Anyway, right, Commanders, I will see what kind of comes of that, but they said they've been a big disappointment this season. The Bengals, Andy, Joe Burrow's 21-day window to return has started. Is this just in the nick of time? Because if you look at this AFC North, it's still absolutely wide open. I think there's still a game behind the Steelers or something like that. If I can find where we're at. Yes, 5-4 Steelers. The Ravens are 4-5, and the Bengals are only 2 behind at 3-6. Again, like I was almost hinting at there with the Giants. Could the Bengals make a move on this division?
I think dropping that game, was it to the Jets? That was the game that they just could not drop, because I don't think the schedule is massively favourable going forward. They needed to bank that win for Burrow coming back. And I just don't trust the defense anyway, even with Burrow out there. And you look at Joe Flacco, he's thrown for like 450 yards or something in a game. Or 3, I can't remember what it was. It was ridiculous against the Jets, and they still couldn't get it done. And in the Bears game as well. So missed opportunities, I think, that they had to bank for Burrow coming back. So I think the season's over anyway for the Bengals. But if he comes in and plays well, and you're again looking at maybe building towards next season, but I don't know where they really go from here anyway, with the roster they've built and where the money's all tied up.
That's got a feeling in a franchise again that will just rip it up in the summer. I don't know how much Zach Taylor's got left in the bank or anything like that. So we'll keep an eye on that one anyway. Another couple of injuries for a couple of teams that, let's face it, are absolutely in the toilet as well. We have Travis Hunter. Obviously, this unicorn player looks like he's done for the season. He's got some season-ending surgery. Disappointing for him, given what Jacksonville kind of gave up for him. Hopefully he kicks back and he's got a much better sort of second season. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is out with a sore appendix. He's got a bit of surgery to remove it. Wish him well, a couple of weeks out. I'm sure we'll be back and and no catching passes for Kyler Murray anyway. So let's not dwell too long on that one. And then just the final point, it's definitely worth noting that came about on Sunday during the games. Paul Tagliabue, the former commissioner of the NFL, had died at the age of 84. He was a commissioner from 1989 to 2006, inducted in the Hall of Fame in the year in 2020. And it was obviously instrumental in a lot of changes that we love about the league this day and age, particularly the expansion up to 32 teams. Always sad when the Sams looked at a good innings, 34. I wish I will reach 34. I wouldn't bet money on that at this rate. A lot of damage I do at my liver on the weekends. But I get to get any comments on any of them. I'm happy to chuck it to you, or we move on to more interesting stuff. Good.
I think just we can move on. You've covered it well, Danny.
Good man. Right, so let's have what we'll do is we'll have a wee quick swatch and recap what went on last week. It was week 10. We previewed a few games, but again, we'll just maybe run through them all nice and loose and easy. You guys chuck and we are. It started off with, by the way, right, before we start, how honking were the primetime games this week? Absolute disaster. I'll touch on them. Raiders 7, Broncos 10, yawn. And especially after Kev. Kev was bigging it up last week. I can't wait. Looking forward to this weekend. I'm going to stay up and watch it. To watch 10-7.
But the Broncos get the job done, though. Right? This is the thing that the Broncos are frustrating because they're scoring next to nothing, right? And I was having a wee look at this because we were talking about the Bengals and how you've got somebody like Joe Flacco who is busting a gut to get a win. And in the past 2 games, the Bengals have lost after scoring 80 points. 80 points scored, 2 losses. And then you look at teams like Denver, which, you're right, honking game, awful Thursday night game of football, but they win and they find a way to win. And despite them being honking to watch, they've done it so many times this season already. They beat the Raiders 10-7, but get the win. They beat the Titans 20-12, but they get the win. They beat the Jets 13-11, but they get the win. They've done this so many times, and they've managed to get almost. So it was out of 5 games, right? In 5 games where Denver have won, they've scored a total of 82 points versus the last 2 Bengals games where they've scored 80 points and get hee-haw. Like, you've got to give credit there. Like, talk about getting the best out of your team. Might not be the most attractive thing to watch. And say Monday night wasn't much better. 0, like, hee-haw by half time. Awful primetime games.
Yeah, they were bad. Let's hope this week's a bit better, but we'll come to that one. But that's from my own personal, being selfish. 10-7, like you say, Broncos carry on 8-2, joint best record in the AFC. Fair play to them, but I'm not taking much away for this game because again they just feel like a team. They've got another gear. Let's move straight on to that 2:30 game in Germany. Falcons 25, Colts 31. Jonathan Taylor is still running. I think he's fucking Forrest Gump. He's just gone for it. 3 touchdowns, about 3 miles. Murdo, did you watch this one? Did you get a chance?
I had it on in the background whilst decorating, and do you know what? The atmosphere looked much better than the London games, and definitely a better show than the London games this year as well. I can see.
What about the halftime show? Aye. Is that
I've never seen a halftime show. Was Scooter not just doing like the Colts touchdowns?
Might have just been that, yeah.
I've seen that, like getting a live performance for your touchdown celebrations, pretty unreal. But no, I guess it's just a great advert for the league. After like say the other games, international games haven't been the best this year, so to get one that's kind of going right into overtime, only going to grow it.
Andy, what do you take for this game from a Colts and a Falcons point of view?
I think the Falcons should be kicking themselves because they had chances in this game, and again they're another team that are slipping away. They're still there and thereabouts, but I think, like you said, with Denver, they're just finding a way to win the Colts, and they seem like they can. Like, they were just pounding it with Jonathan Taylor. I can't remember how many carries he had, but I think it was in the 30s, and it
30,
was
32.
Yeah, 32. So, like watching it live, it was quite impressive just to see him just keep on going, keep on going. And fair play to them, like you say, 8-2. I think still got the 1 seed.
Yeah, the one thing I would take away for Falcons is it seems very much like a breakout season for Drake London. Finally, kind of coming up and showing a superstar sort of wide receiver. So interesting what they can do. Giants, Bears. Now we've touched on the Giants quite a bit, but so from a Bears point of view, Murdo, you would have watched this game, probably cried by the end of it. What do you think of the Bears? Like Caleb seems to be Houdini for 3 quarters and then pops up in the fourth and again seems to be Houdini on the field.
Yeah, well, that's like Bo Nix with Denver. Like he doesn't turn up for the first 3 quarters, and the last quarter he's there and thereabouts as well. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to judge because obviously we don't have any rush defense. So they were running through us. Obviously a lot more running because it was a snow game as well. I don't think they're good enough to make a big push into the playoffs. To be honest, looking at them, like there's definitely been better teams that have beat the Giants this year. But Caleb finally looks like he's, the promising quarterback that they drafted him for. He's had a season to bed in, but now he's looking like the real deal, and Rome Odunze's stepping up as well.
Yeah, Smudger. So when you were filling out your ACA for the weekend, and you had Bills, Dolphins, that was a road win was ticked in there, and you were comfortable and happy about that. So
absolutely, it was a certainty. It was like printing money.
When it's 16-0 at half time,
would have been Bills.
when it's 16-0 at half time, was your bum twitching? And then when it ends up 30-13 to the Dolphins, what did you make of that?
Just unbelievable. But I think that just sums up this season, doesn't it? Like there's just been so many games that have flipped the predicted outcome on its head. Teams that you had completely written off, and it's just been. I think it was just the Bills. The Bills had a stinker. Let's be honest. They had an absolute stinker of a game. The Dolphins they're so inconsistent. They're all over the place. A bit like they're a team that you can't trust. Like Atlanta. You mentioned about Atlanta last week, Andy, about a team that you can't trust. This Dolphins team as well is all over the place, and a head coach in maybe McDaniel that might be also out of a job by the end of this season because there's so many things going wrong in that roster. They've got so much money tied into it. It's going to probably need a severe rebuild. But they somehow got the job done, and they're now going to Spain. They're traveling to Spain to play the Commanders, and you're suddenly thinking, okay, this is a team that plays pretty well on home turf. They like a bit of Florida sunshine. They're now away at Madrid. Could they possibly get two wins on the bounce? I don't trust them at all, and I don't think at the end of the day, like you look at the division that they're in, especially with the way that your team's flying high at the moment, Danny. I think it's what they can do as an also ran in that division at the moment. But nobody, I don't think anyone would have in the right mind have put the Dolphins as winning that game against the Bills. I think the Bills will bounce back. I think they'll come good this week. I think I read something like I think it's been 5 years. It's been a considerable amount of time since the Bills have lost 2 games on the bounce. I can't remember the exact date, but it's been like several seasons. So yeah, I would imagine it will be business as usual for them this weekend.
Make it up. Nobody's got a comment. It's fine.
I looked up before. Can't mind.
Andy, Devon Achan ran for 174 yards and 2 carries. How worried should the Bills be about that run defense?
I think it's bottom 5 in the NFL, so it is a big worry. And you're looking at, we'll obviously look at it in a bit, but I think Bucky Irvin might be back this week. So that's going to be a worry, I think, for them. Just a strange game. Like one play that summed it up was, I think Josh Allen went for a QB sneak and ended up sneaking for like 15 yards and just wouldn't go down and then fumbled the ball and it just popped up into the Dolphins' hand, and it just seemed like all those, 50-50 plays just fell towards the Dolphins, and to be fair, they capitalized on it, and like you say, Achan looked like his prime self. He can be, when he gets out onto the outside, can be unstoppable and a real speedster. So Dolphins have a chance to make a little bit of a run. Looking at their schedule, it's quite soft. So they might be coming out of this season actually a bit positive, and we might see Mike McDaniel in 2026.
We'll see. Right. Ravens 27, Vikings 19. What's that? Another flag for a false start. I've just actually seen chucked at the back window. That has to be in the Vikings, Smudger. Come on. What the hell's going on with your team right now?
Honestly, mate, I watched the game and I was just completely stunned. Like a home game as well. Like when your offense is on the field, the crowd's quiet to let you get on with the job, and we were awful. Like the amount of false starts, the amount of penalties we gave away, it was embarrassing. It was so bad to watch. We completely shot ourselves in the foot in that game. Having started so well, like opening drive, looked like we were going to continue from the win that we had against the Lions the week before. You thought JJ McCarthy's finally finding his rhythm. He's settling into this offense. And we just completely blew the game. And it was in the space of like the start of the third quarter where it was the kick return, and then we lose the football, and then the Ravens go and score, and all of a sudden we're chasing the game. It just completely starts to get away from us, and then from then you're constantly chasing at least a 2-score deficit. But we could have won this game. We beat ourselves. For all that, the Ravens. Ravens are a great team, and obviously they're getting the quarterback back after a considerable absence. Although saw this week he's not practiced on Wednesday, so want to watch. But we really need to. The Vikings need to bounce back. This NFC North as a division last year was every team looked so strong. This year the division's a bit all over the place. Like the Packers have fallen off the boil, Vikings have come off the boil. We talked about the Bears, they're starting to find a bit of rhythm. The Lions as well. I think the way this season's going with so many teams, it's going to be who's got the most momentum carrying into the second half of the season. That's where it's going to become really important. So I'm not completely pushing the panic button just yet. Like we are bottom of the division, but there's like a 2-game swing. And I think there's still so much to play for, and there's so much potential in this Vikings team. When we get it right, we can play against teams like the Lions away from home and get a result, but we need to stop beating ourselves.
That's where it starts, the fundamentals. Murdo, I'm kind of rubbing my eyes here, but Justin Fields this last week, he was 6 for 11 for 54 passing yards, but somehow the New York Jets still win 27-20. Any idea how you make sense of that? Is that not just two basket case teams just slam it out at each other?
Yeah, I don't think we have to go much further than just the team names to realise it's not going to be much of a game. Jets, Browns. there's not going to be a lot to it, but yeah, it's absolutely crazy that what did you say, it was 6 for 11?
I think it was 5 or 6 completions and 11 attempts for about 54 yards. I think he tagged on about 20 yards rushing as well somewhere in there, to try and make his total yards semi-respectable, I guess you might say. But come on, I've never seen a stat
he's not even going up the month with those
figures. I'm not sure the stats even Scott Hansen would cut to him at any point. But then it helps when you guess when you start a game when it was a kickoff return and a punt return or something like that for two special teams touchdowns. It makes it a wee bit easier in the offense.
Yeah. 2 special team scores. Probably a game they do. I don't know. Is it a game they even want to win? Because that probably has a bit of draft implication looking sort of into next year, which no fan base really wants to do so early. But I unfortunately, that's where those two teams are. But it's good to see Aaron Glenn get a bit of momentum, especially sort of with all the sort of trade talk that obviously Sauce Gardner's gone and Quinnen Williams is gone as well. So yeah, the Jets for me don't have as many building blocks as like we're looking at like the Giants, sort of their neighbours, sort of moving forward. They do have some, and the Browns. They just
They've got hell of a draft capital though. Let's face it.
Yeah, and probably both teams looking for a QB next year in the draft.
Yeah, it's a game I didn't think we'd touch too much on, but I'm just kind of sitting there thinking that this is typical, sorry, just to recap it, in Jets and Dolphins fashion. And this happens to a lot of these teams where season's done, but they then go on a late run in the season and just absolutely hump their draft position and end up picking way out it. And, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jets put another couple of wins together for the season's out. Next game, if we must talk about the mighty Patriots on the road, 28-23 against the Bucks. We're back, baby! Yeah! I say I was a tad excited about this one, really. Great game, though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought two teams went for it. Both teams slightly banged up with obviously being Ramondre Stevenson and Keyshawn Boutte out. Bucky Irvin was Mike Evans Godwin out for the Buccaneers. We relied heavily on two massive runs from Travion Henderson, who is lightning fast. So was Kyle Williams. Welcome to the NFL. Things just seem to be ticking along nicely for the Patriots. I am very pleased with the way progress is going. I'm still, I refuse. So anytime anything goes on TikTok or on like X or anything like that, and it's a video of a lot of these talking heads saying about how amazing the Patriots are and we'll look Super Bowl content, I've got to switch off. So that's just bad juju. Do I hear it? Like, I'm just happy that we are not stinking the place out every week and we are actually entertaining to watch. Drake May's continue to do great things. The Bucks, I think will come good. They're still a bit beat up, but I think give them another week, they'll get another couple of pieces back, and I still see them making a run into the playoffs. Either you guys, anything to throw in there? I know I'm hogging that one, but I
think the inspirational halftime team talk from Stephon Diggs was apparently a big factor as well, and then he came good at the very end as well to catch from the short kick. So. The onside kick. So, yeah, he had a great game. He's had a wee bit of a renaissance since he's gone to the Patriots. A lot of people wrote him off, but
he's brilliant.
He's done well.
And can I just add that our WAG's better than yours, Kansas? We've got Cardi B in our team. You can keep your Taylor Swift. Some of the Cardi B stuff that she's putting on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that after our Patriots wins, wild. It is quite funny. She put a one this week. It was like when your man scores a touchdown and hashtag the Patriots, and it's a gif of a lassie putting her ankles basically behind her ears. Sort of like mental. So get it, bring it, Taylor Swift. We look waggy. Anyway, right, moving on to the games. Saints 17, Panthers 7. I don't care. These are two teams that are still building. I'm not going to take any away for that, but Tyler Shucks throws a couple of touchdowns. Good on him. And one gets a win, so maybe that is a piece. Maybe they do have a quarterback. The Jags, the Texans, what a game that turned out to be. It was looking pretty ominous early doors for the Jags. I think they were like 19 points ahead getting into this one, but a late resurgence in the fourth quarter. The Texans end up winning this one 36-29. Davis Mills gets it done with CJ Stroud's out. Right, okay. Andy, just tell me, Jags are the pretenders here, aren't they? They're a team that, even though they beat teams like Kansas, just we can't take them seriously, can we? They're okay for an odd upset win, but other than that, bin them.
They've not got I just don't think they have the consistency, and Trevor Lawrence just isn't at that level where he's going to like drag his team to victory in these games. Like, you can see it when they're desperately needing a play. They just don't seem to get it in the fourth quarter, and they sort of shy away as the game's going on. And if you were watching it, you could just see the momentum swinging and the stadium sort of coming to life and getting behind the Texans. And yeah, they're not catching the Colts, I don't think, in that division. And I think Liam, who's it? The head coach, Liam Cohen. That's it. Yeah,
Liam Cohen. Yeah,
I think you could see he was raging after that game that they'd thrown another sort of opportunity away. It's because they could at the start of the season they were looking good, weren't they? I think they started off sort of 3-0 or something, sort of looking good, but yeah, they've fallen away, which is disappointing to see.
Yeah,
and they've got to play the Colts twice as well in December, so two difficult games. I don't really fancy them doing much in that division. You'd have to say the Colts with the 2 games against the Jags, unless they completely mess up, they're gonna coast their way to finishing top of that division. They've got such a head start already. Can't see them blowing it.
Murdo, though, is kind of impressive, though, isn't it? The fact Texans scored 26 unanswered points in the fourth quarter for a massive comeback in this one. Davis Mills doing it. He's actually finally getting Nico Collins sometime. It's maybe a little too late, but I guess it's still showing that D'Amico Ryans actually is good, something to work with there, and there is pieces to build on moving forward.
Yeah, I definitely think so, because was the last season they had a pretty solid season? I can't remember, but the Texans, I find they're one of these frustrating teams, because you look at what they have on the roster and it's not bad, but then they never play to that level, to the players that they've got, and then it's when they've not got a great roster they seem to do really well. So it was just good, just a bit refreshing to see a big comeback win. So, to be fair, I've been seeing a lot of them watching the Giants games recently, but but yeah, just kind of on the back of what we're saying about Jacksonville, for me, Sunday was probably the final nail in the coffin to prove that Trevor Lawrence is just a mid quarterback. He's not this generational talent that everyone thought. He's just a serviceable league quarterback. He's not going to be the guy. I wouldn't be surprised to see him replaced in the next, I think it's 2 to 3 years.
He's got magnificent hair, though. Well, don't forget the hair.
What I would do for that mane of luscious locks.
Yeah, he looks like he's chiseled from Italian marble, doesn't he? Yeah, we'll move on for that one. But no, I kind of like the Texans. I think they've got a kind of good fan base there, and obviously our good pal Hendo, the Celtic Texan, rooting for them there. So it's good to see them kind of making a bit of progress. Keith is still, we're scraping him off the ceiling of Casa de McGinty. The Seahawks are absolutely crushing it right now. 44-22. This game was done by the middle of the second quarter. I think the Seahawks were on cruise control after that. Andy, Sam Darnold MVP chance. What do we think?
He was number 1 in QBR, I think, at the moment, sort of leading the league. So I don't see why not. The moves they made in the offseason look genius now. Picking up Sam Darnold and then trading Geno Smith. I think they picked up a 3rd rounder or something for Geno Smith. And he's surrounded by good. Well, the O-line sort of come together and is quite healthy this season, which has sort of been their problem in seasons gone past. And JSN has just been unbelievable. So if they just keep throwing it his way, they look really good. And I trust the defense as well to make stops when they need to. So yeah, it's been good. It's good to watch them, but I'm a bit worried, obviously, being in that NFC as a Lions fan.
Before I go into the fact that Marcus Lawrence obviously scores 2 touchdowns, which is pretty impressive. Craig, how does it feel watching Sam Darnold rip up the league?
I was waiting for that. I've seen Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold this season absolutely tear it up, and I'm like, hang on a minute, let's rewind a little bit. We had both these guys on our roster, and now we're having a conversation about is McCarthy ready? So, no, it's not flying. They're playing so well at the moment. Darnold's just absolutely balling. They've got an absolutely brilliant game coming up against the Rams this coming weekend, which is going to be a blockbuster. Cannot wait to see both of those quarterbacks having at it against each other. But yeah, Keith will be feeling pretty confident about the Seahawks prospects going into the postseason as well. You highlighted, Andy, just the way that they've traded. They've got rid of Geno. He's gone to Vegas, reunited with his head coach, and it's been an absolute disaster over there. They've brought Darnold in, who did an excellent job last season in the regular season, but fell away when it came to the postseason performance. But the way that everything is clicking just now in Seattle, if they can keep that momentum going, especially in this season where anyone can beat anyone, no reason why Seattle couldn't go on a deep playoff run.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with them. I think they're doing great. Yeah. Right, sorry, I'm just realising the time here. I think we better get crack on, since we do have some big news to announce once we're through this. So we'll try and dig through it. The Rams 42, 49ers 26. I don't think this comes as any real shock to MD. We mentioned last week that the 49ers were held together with double-sided tape and chewing gum, I think. The Rams were absolutely flying. They got out to a lead here and never let go. Matt Stafford is playing probably MVP level. He must be number one. Actually, I think Drake May is currently favourite with the bookies, but Stafford looks like he is a shoe-in for it, and the Rams are looking like the team to beat in the NFC.
Third game in a row, he's thrown for four touchdowns, I think I read. So he's in some run of form.
Yeah, the thing is with this one, for the box score anyway, you're kind of looking at Mac Jones, 33 of 39, 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. So it's not like it was utterly horrendous. It's like, still serviceable, but I guess it's just when you're coming up against a team with the momentum and well coached and everything going in their favour there now, and they're still 49ers are still trying to kind of keep it together. It's this is what can happen. But again, 6-4 record. Rams are 7-2. That was a big win for them. That's them trying to, just put a bit of space between them, because that is a close NFC West. Final one for the kind of earlier window on Sunday. The Lions 44, Commanders 22. Again, I don't think I took too much away from this. Andy, I'll pass it to you, man.
No, I wouldn't say so. I think from early on, you could just see the Lions, everything they were doing on offense was working, and it had that feel that they were going to sort of hit one of those games where they scored 45 points. And for Washington, the defense just lost its discipline. Obviously, we talked about Payne getting chucked. I think Kinlaw on the next play, 15-yard penalty. It's not often you actually see the team implode, like as you're watching the game. Which is a bit of a worry for the Commanders, because I actually don't like that roster that much. That's an old, aging roster. Okay, the hype was there last season. I don't even know if they have like that Super Bowl window, as much as I do love sort of Jaden Daniels.
Well, actually, that was something that did raise my earlier when Murdo and you were talking about the likes of Cliff Kingsbury and, what Dan Quinn's done, and they did great last year, and then you've kind of seen the slump this year. It is something you just never know what's going to kind of happen. Let's move on quickly. Chargers 25, Steelers 10. We spoke about this game last week, and I was sure that Herbert would maybe die in this game, given that O-line that the Chargers have and how the Steelers were rushing the passer. And I have no idea what to make of this Steelers team when it's, they've got 3 points in the fourth quarter. But then they can have such impressive wins one week and then lose games they shouldn't. Now, I guess this game was on the road. That is a long journey for Pennsylvania down to California. All these sort of things going for it, but I did expect a bit more for them. Are the Steelers another contender or pretender? Smudger, tell me, because I don't know.
I think they're a pretender. I think, given this is Rodgers' last season in the NFL, you would have expected a little bit more from him in this game. He had a bit of a rotten one, to be honest. It's what the Steelers do beyond this. Like, they've got to be thinking they need to get their quarterback position right. They've had so many false dawns when it comes to that. Even look pre Rodgers, where you had the whole Wilson scenario, and then you just feel like they need a complete shake-up. They had a lot of consistency over the past. In terms of head coach, they had so many years with Big Ben at the QB position, but they need to find that long-term, stable QB that's going to carry them forward, and they might have to go through a bit of pain. You see teams that See, mine included at the moment. You've got to go through that initial wee bit of pain if you've got a quarterback that's coming in as a rookie. I think it's going to be an interesting few seasons for the Pittsburgh Steelers to see what they end up doing.
Murdo, are you agreeing? Contender, pretender?
Yeah, pretender. Sorry. To be honest, I think the NFC North, the only real contender is the Ravens, and they've just been unfortunate with injuries. This just with what Craig was saying, like, has Tomlin gone stale? Is it time to maybe move on, get someone fresh in, and like Craig says, shake it up? Because they've been a bit for a couple of 3-4 years now, maybe 5. There's not really been much about them, and they're always there or thereabouts. Because if you look at the division, the Browns are the Browns. The Bengals are either amazing or dog shite. So they've been fighting with the Ravens for the division. But yeah, I think a big shake-up's needed, just freshen everything up and go through the pain. I know Craig's complaining about having 1 or 2 seasons of pain with a new quarterback, but I'm on about season 8 now. So yeah, I totally think that it would be a worthwhile exercise.
Right, Andy, just give me a short answer on the Chargers. They're 7-3. They're banged up to bits, but this is a testament to Harbaugh and Herbert and what they can actually do with what they've got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Herbert played well, and like you say, I was sort of thinking this would be the Steelers' defense sort of building on what they did the week before and getting after him and just sort of causing a bit of chaos. So fair play to the Chargers. They're sort of still in the mix for their division as well, which is interesting. So a couple key players out, but they do still have some good weapons. You've seen Keenan Allen still making plays for them. So fair play to them.
No, fair play indeed. And the last game, you know what? Just out of pure principle, I don't even want to talk about it because, one, I am pissed off and bored of watching the Eagles jump offside with a tush push. I'm bored of the neutral zone infractions of the Packers. I'm bored of watching the Packers offensively. I just don't like the team. I've not liked watching them for a number of weeks now. They started the season great. And I know I've said I didn't want to talk about them, and I'm just about to go on my soapbox and rant about them here. But this game finished 10-7 to the Eagles. I didn't watch any of it, but when it's 0-0 at halftime, it tells you everything you need to know about this game. I think both of these teams, although the Eagles have that championship sort of mentality that they're winning games, they've still got a long way to go to kind of reach those levels of last year. And the Packers do better. Just do better, Packers. That's what I'm telling you, because they seem to have all the PCs. They went and traded away a next couple of years for Micah Parsons, who's playing really well. But show me more, Jordan Love. Show me more in this offense. Show me more from LaFleur. If anybody wants to chip in for 30 seconds, go for it. But otherwise, I'm happy to kind of call it quits on week 11, and the only way is forward onto week 12. Good man. Hold on, did I say week 11 and week 12? I've missed a week, haven't I? I'm it.
We knew what you meant.
I've went into the future already. Right. Key games for next week. We've obviously done quite a deep dive in a number of the teams, so kind of try and keep this a wee bit looser, a wee bit lighter, more predictions, if you guys don't mind, as we're going through it. First game, we get another half-2 kick-off. Yeah, beauty. Even more football through the day, especially it's international weekend in the football, innit? So that means who cares about that junk? So it's not even that we've got any Celtic and Rangers getting losing and sticking the joint up to keep us distracted, or Cali Thistle or Aberdeen or whoever your team is, Andy. Sorry, I'm not that way inclined. But anyway,
Ross
County.
Even worse.
Even worse, so we don't need to worry about them losing their weekend. So we get to start 2:30. It's our first game in Madrid, in Spain. We have Commanders at Dolphins. Dolphins are 2.5-point favourites, as it stood when I wrote out my notes for this yesterday morning. I don't know if that's changed. Quickly, run the room. Murdo, start with you. How's this one going to pan out?
It's giving me vibes of Giants, Panthers in Germany last year, 2, 3, and 7 teams. Not holding out much hope for a very good game. I reckon the Dolphins a bit of momentum after beating the Bills, and they'll nick it.
Nick it. What do you think, Andy? Have you got anything to say against that? Is there a case to be made for the Commanders here?
No, I'd go Dolphins as well. I think Achan's rushing line is about 80 yards predicted, so I'd be going for that, to be honest. Obviously, we talked about Payne being out as sort of the leader of that defense for the Commanders. And like I say, if they win this one, you then play the Saints, the Jets. So I could see them going sort of 8 and 9.
Nice. I would like that. Cause it means anyway, sorry, I need to stop letting my personal opinions come into this. I'm meant to be professional here. Right, Smudge, tell me, is that a clean sweep? We're all going for the Dolphins.
I think the stadium and the spectacle is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting in this fixture, because I don't think this is going to be a classic. I saw some of the pictures of the Bernabeu, which looks amazing, like incredible. I would love to go just to see an NFL game, not this particular NFL game, this fixture, but it looks amazing. So I'll tune in because I'm interested to see. But yeah, I'm going for Dolphins in the sunshine. I think they sneak a win, but it's not going to be a classic.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that one. Right, next up in Danny's picks here, we have the Bucks at the Bills, 6 o'clock kickoff. Bills favoured by 5.5 points. And the two teams coming off losses in week 10. What one is taking the win this week?
I'll go Bills, but I think 5.5 is quite a big point spread for me. I always think the Bucks, no matter what, are competitive, even with the injuries. And they actually have a good run defense. So if they can bottle up James Cook, if he's playing, I don't know if he missed last week or not actually, but if they can bottle him up, we've seen Josh Allen. He made mistakes last week, but I'll go with the Bills.
The Bills, Smudger.
Yeah, I think it would be saying we talked about the Bucks. I love Baker, but no Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans, Bucky Irvin's still out. The injuries are pretty substantial on the offensive side, so I think the Bills will bounce back in this. So yeah, I'm going to go Bills win.
Murdo, is you making it 3 for 3?
I don't want to, but I can't see past the Bills. I think Josh Allen's going to, he's going to take last week a bit personally the way he played. Yeah, I can't see anything but a Bills win.
Yeah, we're on. We're on agreement here. No, I was just going to say we're on agreement, and I'm with you. It's hard to see anything past it. And I always think, this time of year, a team from Florida traveling all the way up to Buffalo, I've got to freeze their. What was it saying? I was got to quote Cool Runnings there, but I can't remember what it was. But anyway, you get the idea. It's got to freeze the nuts off them up there. So that's fair. I think we're all in agreement there. Right, Smudger, Bears at Vikings. It's another 6 o'clock kickoff. 3.5 point favourites for your Vikings. Division rivals. Can you do it?
I sincerely hope we can. I hope if we can sort out the penalties. This team, like I said when we talked about last week's game against the Ravens, if we can avoid shooting ourselves in the foot, I think this could be a really entertaining game. I think this could be a game where hopefully we see both quarterbacks kind of letting loose. So I think it's going to be an entertaining one. I'd like to think the Vikings can bounce back and still be in the conversation in that division. It's massive for both teams, I think, to try and keep pace with the Lions. So I'm gonna go Vikings win, but I think it's going to be a high scoring one.
Murdo, this has got a Flores versus Ben Johnson feel to it, where you think this one is going to be won lost. Where's your 50p bet going?
I am going Bears by a touchdown. Sorry, Craig.
Oh,
that's all right.
No,
finally.
I just think the Bears, they seem to have a bit of a rub of the green this season. They just seem they've got a little bit more about them. They're just a bit more luck. I think they'll do it, and I can see the Bears going into the playoffs. I don't see them going far, but I think they're going to the playoffs.
Andy, is Caleb going to do more than 1 quarter to win this game?
I've always said since he's been drafted, I don't believe in Caleb Williams. Like long term, I don't see him as going to be elite. And I think the Vikings will win this. I don't trust the Bears. I don't actually think they're as good as their record's saying. I've had a look at their schedule in terms of who they've beaten. This would probably be the most impressive win if they could pull it off. But I'll go Vikings to win, probably by sort of a touchdown. However, JJ McCarthy you'd seen it last week. He was throwing the ball up when he didn't need to, like 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 1, and it's like an arm punt down the field, turnover, and the Bears are leading in turnovers in the league by a country mile. So, but again, for me, that's not sustainable. So, I'll go with Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings as well. So 3-1 Murdo. We'll see if you're right in that one, mate. Next one up. This could be the game of the weekend. For me, it is the game of the weekend. It very potentially could be the NFC Championship game. We have the Seahawks at the LA Rams. It's a 9:05 kickoff. The Rams are 2.5-point favourites, which, when they say the home team's usually a 3-point kind of advantage. Yeah, that's Murdo. Well, got to be looking forward to that. That one's great.
Yeah.
If you
Definitely the game of the week, and it's a real coin toss out the way it can go. I'm gonna back the Seahawks, the away team. Just with what I've seen of the Seahawks this year, they seem to be able to pull massive plays out of the bag. They just, I could see it being their year to NFC Championship, Super Bowl potentially. So yeah, Seahawks to beat the Rams, but a very close one.
Oh, Keith's got to love you. You'll definitely come back, Murdo. Andy, is this a Rams win for you?
Yeah, I think Keith will hate me. I reckon Rams win by double digits. I can see this as being one of those Darnold games that he does sort of get a bit erratic with the ball. And for me, I think Stafford, Puka, and Devontae Adams and Kyrie Williams, they're unstoppable at this rate. The way they're going, that is a proper juggernaut offense. And I like their front defensive line as well to get the job done. So I can see, I don't want to say a blowout, but I can see a 10-point win here for the Rams.
Yeah. Well, for agree, mine. Smudger, what's your thoughts?
I'd have to agree. I think I mentioned earlier on the way that Matthew Stafford is playing at the moment. He's past 3 games, 4 touchdowns per game. I can see that continuing. He's at SoFi at home. I think this could be like a 44-28 type game. I think it's the Rams that will end up being the winners in this one. No disrespect to the Seahawks, and sorry, Keith. Maybe we'll be wrong, but yeah, I just think the Rams are going to be too much in this game.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating because we know what the crowds are like in SoFi anyway as well. It becomes a road game for the Rams, the 12 of the Seahawks are going to fill that up. But I've just got a feeling that if it was flipped the other way and this was going to be played up in Seattle, up in that Pacific Northwest, a bit colder, a bit windier outdoors, I'd have fancied that just to swing it for the Seahawks. But like you say, I just love that red zone attack for the Rams. Devontae Adams, Stafford to Adams is a cheat code. It's just poof up there and they're coming down with it, and there's nothing you can do about it. They are just better than you. And that is what I think is going to be the sort of X factor for the Rams in that one. And I think it's going to be a close game. I still think they keep it competitive, but the Rams win that one. Next up, AFC West divisional matchup with the Chiefs coming off their bye at the Broncos. This is a 9:25 kickoff. Kansas are 3.5 points favourites. Craigie, you were just saying earlier about how Broncos, they win. Did they lose?
Well, they've got a great defense that can frustrate teams. They can turn a game to suit their own agenda. They're more than happy to chew clock, have possession of the ball, but not necessarily just continually driving up the field and scoring hefty amounts of points, as we talked about. So I'm really interested to see how both head coaches approach this one. Like, what's Andy Reid going to try and do to undo this Broncos side that can be really stubborn? So I don't think it's going to be a particularly high scoring game. I think though, I think the Chiefs should, on paper, still win this game, but I think it will be like a 20 points to 14 or something like that. It's going to end up being a score.
Murdo, we've got Andy Reid coming off a bye. He doesn't lose too many of the games off a bye. I don't know what his record is. I can't mind it, but I'm sure it's like 19-1 or something like that over his time. Somebody out there. As I say, if you don't know the stats, make it up anyway. Nobody's listening. Nobody will know. People are listening, obviously. But nobody's got to correct me. Whatever. But tell me I'm having crap here. Tell me I'm wrong. Andy Reid off a bye, that's a win.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I fully expect the Chiefs win, because this is the time of the season they start turning on as well. You know, the business end. I wouldn't be surprised to see them overtake the Broncos in the division, even though the three games back now. You know, the Chiefs always find a way to win, and I think they'll do it Sunday.
Is that a hint at the refs? Is that what you're trying to get at there? Is that what you're saying? They always find a way. you know what I'm talking about. Is that Rangers
exactly.
fan? What I'm talking about. Andy, this shaped him up though. Again, you've got the two kind of veteran head coaches, offensive head coaches, Andy Reid and Sean Payton there, but you've got Spags defense there. This shaped up to be a cracker.
Yeah, I think whoever gets out in front has a chance to just take this game sort of by the scruff of the neck, because if the Broncos get out in front, they've got the defense that can sort of stifle Mahomes a wee bit, you know. And on the other side, if the Chiefs get out in front, I can't see Bo Nix chasing the game. He's too erratic with the ball. There'll be turnovers if that happens, and I'm always going to go with Mahomes when it's a toss-up. So I'll go with the Chiefs, but like I say, whoever gets it in front, I can see just taking that lead and taking it the whole way.
I am going to go with the Chiefs in this one as well. I think it's close, but I think I'm coming off a bye. I just kind of see past them. I just want to come quickly back to the Seahawks-Rams game. Mikey Brown did messages on Instagram, and he's saying Seahawks defense to keep them below 20 and win. Mike Mack is good away from home. There you go. What Mikey says, he's like Nostradamus. It's going to happen. That's it. Put your money on it. People, lump your mortgage on it. I'm looking bet responsibly and all that sort of stuff. Don't do it. Don't come at me. But cheers, Mikey. And again, any other comments, feel free to send them in. If I'm not distracted by other things, I will read them out eventually at some point. Last game on Danny's kind of key games review. Lions at Eagles. This is Sunday night football, 1:20 in the morning. Philly are favoured by 1.5. They come off the back of that stinker, that 10-7 win. The Lions destroyed who they were playing. Commanders, was it? 44-22 or something like that. Andy, obviously I'm going to come straight to you first. How do you overcome that Eagles defence in particular? And how do you stop the tush push from just destroying Philly?
I think we've just got to go back to our run game, really, with Gibbs and Monty, and just mix it up as much as we can. Try and get Gibbs on the outside. Tush push will be interesting. We've actually got quite a strong interior defensive line with McNeil, DJ Reader, and then we've got our rookie first round pick Tyreek Williams, who's not had a massive impact yet. And I trust sort of Kelvin Shepherd, the DC, to have some sort of plan. You've seen teams like lie a defender down now, sort of. And then just to stop that tush push, but I can't see us stopping it. It's funny, like obviously looking at this game, being a Lions fan, Eagles have the 23rd overall offense, and the defense ranks down like in 18th. Where they're really good is the red zone, where they're first in efficiency. So that is, for me, that tush push sort of that short yardage situations, they always get the job done. Pains me to say I'm a pessimist. I think the Eagles win this one, but like I say, they've not been impressive at all. But they're another team that just seems to get it done, and I hate it. I don't like the Eagles. I'm not looking forward to going up against them.
Well, I know that'll come into any favour, but our good pal Grant, Bears fan, has messaged in to ask if both can lose. So I think it shows where his feelings are in this game. And to be honest, he's probably not alone. There's probably quite a few.
Yeah.
Maybe looking at your direction, Craig. Here, would you like both to lose and join Grant on that bandwagon?
I'll take a tie. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really close game. Like Andy was saying about the Lions, if they can stick with the run game the way that they did so successfully. Obviously, we know how dangerous the Eagles can be when they're firing on all cylinders. But sometimes they can come up with, say, performances like that where you're only offering up 10 points in a game. So I think away from home is difficult. Like going to Philly, going to Lincoln Field is not an easy place to go. It's an intimidating atmosphere. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions say take this game right down to the wire. So I'm gonna say the Lions can do it and get the job done. I would, from a selfish point of view, in my own division, maybe wouldn't want that to happen, but I think they're capable of it. The Eagles, you touched on earlier on, Danny. They've got that championship mentality, but are they the same? Are they playing like the same team as last season? I don't think so. So if Detroit has that momentum we talked about, yeah, absolutely, they could win that game.
The thing as well, sorry, was that AJ Brown has, there was obviously talks about him and being a bit of a distraction. That's not gone away. That's still lingering. He's talked about if you've got him in fantasy football, just get rid of him type thing. He's clearly still unhappy, and I think you've seen in that last game, they sort of chucked the ball down on 4th and 7, whatever it was, his way. I didn't see much of a fight from him going to get that ball like you've seen AJ Brown do before. So it's something to keep an eye on sort of moving forward. Like you say, I think the Eagles last year were a lot stronger than they are this year.
Yeah, Murdo, do the Lions need to win this one to prove to themselves, even not just even their doubters, that they are championship level and they're still within this window, the bubble they've had the last few years? Surely a win against the reigning champions goes a long way for their confidence.
Yeah, that's a massive statement, to beat the defending champion. So I'm back in Detroit. Fuck the Eagles. If the Giants can win, the Eagles can lose too. But, no, yeah, I think they would go a massive way to just get that momentum, keep on going for the Lions, push on and then see where it takes them. I think they're still going to be favourites for the NFC North, and this would just solidify that. And I just want to double down on fuck the Eagles.
I'll tell you what, I'm joining you in that bandwagon because, as I said earlier, I am bored of the Eagles. I am tired of the tush push. I'm bin it. I don't want to see it anymore. Become an interesting team again. Become fun to watch. You were fun to watch last year. Become that team again. I'm absolutely bored of watching you. So go and put on a show. Make this fun and show just that same team for last year. Otherwise, just get off my telly. I'm voting against cheese. And I'm still no better about Super Bowl 52. Right, so
if you do put on a show, Danny, just wait till Kev Cap comes back on the pod next week.
Come at me, bro. Right, that rounds up the games. We will see what comes out. Key 11, that's the 11. Shape them up to be an absolute cracker. Some really good games out there. I can't wait for it. So, we have been hinting all week at some big news coming out. So, we have some news to share with you all. Craig, I'm going to ask you, do you like beer?
I do. I like beer very much.
Murdo, do you like the NFL?
Partial to it, yes.
Andy, do you like watching the NFL with a beer in your hand?
Absolutely, yep.
Yes, then what the best thing you can do then is join us in week 13, the 30th of November, 5 p.m. till as late as you like, where we are having a watch party in Glasgow at the Raven. It's going to be a fantastic occasion. We'll get quizzes, loads of fun stuff and things going on that Keith's got up his sleeve. The Raven, brilliant venue. Such good fun. We've been in there quite a few times watching games. We're in with with Mickey Brown and the Scottish Ravens, and brilliant food in there. Great drink prices. You can even get that Crave app thing, so you can get discount. So, what you need to do if you'd like to join us, scroll across the bottom if you're watching, and I hope you are, because we're not just voices for here. We're faces as well. You can send us an email, host@gridironcru.com. Gridironcru is GRIDIRNCRU, all one word.com. Let us know you'd like to come, join us. We'll get the areas kind of all reserved and all that sort of good stuff. Prime location for the big TVs. So if you can send us an email, we'll let you know you want to join. Promises obviously to be an absolute cracker. More than welcome, more the merrier. Spread it round about. Even if you get some friends who aren't even into the NFL, bring them along. It's always a great occasion, great community. Doesn't matter what team you support, get your colours on. They're more than happy your colours in there as well. Brilliant. Can't wait for it. Promises to be an absolute cracking week as well. So look forward to seeing you all there. We'll continue posting it out so you don't miss it as well, just to ensure you kind of send the emails and we can get organised and all that sort of good stuff. But yeah, no, it's going to be an absolute great occasion. Tell me, guys, how excited are you? You must be thrilled for this.
Cannot wait. It's going to be, you've got that whole week leading up to it. We've got Thanksgiving, you've got Sunday football to look forward to, and if some of you are even lucky enough, it's St Andrew's weekend as well, so some people might even have a wee cheeky holiday on the Monday. So what better excuse to come out and watch some brilliant football on Sunday in some good company with all you fine folk, all you fine crew. Meet some new folk, and yeah, it's going to be a brilliant place to watch football. Been in there many times, thoroughly enjoyed it, and looking forward to seeing what Keith's got up his sleeve as well. Yeah, he's been rumoured to be putting a few wee things together, so I'm sure there will be some fun things to take part in as well in the build up to the games. Half time and whatnot. So yeah, definitely get along. It's going to be great fun. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we're well aware. We do reach out, and I'm pretty sure it's a bit of a jaunt for you, Andy, coming all the way down the 9 and stuff as well. I'm sure you might not be joining us. Same with you, Murdo, up in the northeast with myself. It's always a bit of a trek, but we'll see if we can get down there and join along. So we'll see what happens with that one. But every day in that greater Central Belt area and beyond, definitely come along and come and join us for, as I say, a right good sesh, NFL, lively debate, I'm sure, but all good nature fun. And it just doesn't stop there either. Keith's been doing more stuff up his sleeve, all this magic stuff we've been putting out in social medias, and you can see it, but we've started up a WhatsApp community as well. So again, just try to get folk together, just start debate and conversation. So you'll see all that stuff out in our socials, so please join the conversation. It's always good fun. Really try to grow this game here in Scotland, and obviously the final aim would be at some point maybe we even get a game kicking about Murrayfield or whatever it might be. But that all happens when we all come together and we all kind of move and we get this momentum behind the NFL and this game that we love. So that's some of the big news kind of coming out from us this week. All really exciting times. We look forward to doing more. Guys, that's been an hour and a half, 90 minutes of absolute pleasure. Murdo, you've never heard that said before, to you, have you?
90 seconds.
You can tell it's getting to the end. It's almost my bedtime. So, guys, thanks very much for joining us. An absolute pleasure. Craigie, I'm just, again, chucking in any final thoughts?
Yeah, just really enjoyed talking about the weekend's games coming up. Cannot wait for the Spain game. New venue just shows how much the NFL is growing. It's becoming international. New places to reach out to American football fans across the world. So it's going to be good to tune in on Sunday afternoon even. Sorry, and another cracking Sunday night to look forward to as well.
Andy, final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm again 2:30, I'll be a couch potato come Sunday. Just a couple of beers, just sitting, watching, chilling. If we can get the same as we had in the last week with the early game, a bit of drama late on, that'll be brilliant. And I'll be staying up all the way through for that Lions game as well.
Brilliant. And Murdo, welcome back, mate. I hope it's not been too much traumatic experience for you.
Well, an hour and a half for you is always tough going, but thanks for having me back. It's been great to chat about the game and stuff. So yeah, hopefully it's not so long next time. And
I hope not.
The weekend ahead.
I look forward to it, mate. And again, big thanks to everybody who's been joining us and dropping comments and everything. All really appreciate it. Follow us on all the socials all week. We're always kind of trying to post up and drum up some new business and interest and, say join this community. And as I said, don't forget, email us in, host@gridironcrew.com to join us at the Raven on the 30th of November. That's week 13. So thanks very much. Catch you all later.
So, bye.